quiere y nos fuimos a lo loco. Bien loco, bien loco, bien loco.
Hey YouTube, I'm Loco here, aka Loco Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to use 3D motion tracking in Bojou, After Effects, and Cinema 4D. So let's go ahead, get started, put your cinematics into After Effects for me. Thank you. If you want to use the one I'm using, the link will be in the description. Now, before we do anything in After Effects after you put the video in, make a folder on your desktop called Sequence. Inside that folder, make another folder named Sequence again. Once you're done, X out that. Bring your clip into the composition button right here. And it makes the composition with the same frame rate that you have. Please remember your frame rate. This one is 30 frames per second. If yours is 29.97, don't round it off to 30. Make it sure it's 29.97. 59.94, don't round off to 60. Just remember your frame rate because you're going to need it in Bojou so it doesn't get fucked up. Once this happens, you're going to go to Composition, Add to Render Queue, put Output on Lossless, put your video for Windows, change it to JPEG Sequence. Something might pop up that says 5 and then Medium. Just click Cancel and then click OK. Put your output to, obviously, to the folder Sequence and then Sequence again, and click Save. Then put Render. I'll be back when it's done rendering. Okay guys, so now that it's done rendering, what you're going to do is X out After Effects, open up Bojou. Once your Bojou is opened up, you're going to go to Import Sequence. You're going to go to Browse, and if it doesn't automatically bring you to the desktop, go to Browse Network. Click on Desktop. Do not double click because nothing will happen. Click on Desktop, click OK. Then it'll show you all the folders in your desktop. Go ahead and click on Sequence. Then click on the Sequence again. Give it a second to load up. And what you're going to do is click on the name you named the After Effects render. And then 0000. That's the first image. Double click it for opening. Change your frame rate to whatever it was. For mine it's 30. And again, if you guys want mine, it'll be in the description. Click Apply. Once it's applied, you'll see it in the background, so close. Once closed, go to Track Features. That's the same thing as motion tracking for After Effects. All frames and then Start. This is a 3-minute process. I'll be done. I'll see you guys when it's over. Now, once your tracking is done, what you're going to do is move the timeline into about the middle, which is the square dot. Just click right above the square dot on the top timeline, not the bottom one. Now, the square dot is the middle of your clip. What I'm going to do is just go a little bit further because that's just what I do. Now, once you're a little bit, once you're in your middle, you're going to go to Scene Geometry, Camera Solve. Camera Solve, you do all frames, optimize camera path, and then click Start. This should take about 15 seconds because it takes 10 seconds, pauses at 86%, and then continues again. Once it's done, blue and yellow dots will appear on your screen. That's where you get to select your points and choose where the floor is. So, now that you're in the middle of your clip again, you're going to go to Scene Geometry. And Scene Geometry is obviously where you tell Bojou where the floor generally is located. So, you don't want to choose some nonsense up here. You want to choose where the floor is. Now, let's say you want the text on the roof. You obviously will choose points on the roof, but your cinematics has to reach the roof so it could find it. But since ours doesn't, we're just going to go to Add Coordinate from Hint. You're going to change the type to Z axis. Since Z is vertical, you're going to choose 2 vertical points. I'm going to go here and then control click there. So that's pretty much the vertical point on the floor. Clearly this is the floor. And just click connect to selected. Once connected, you're going to add coordinate from hint again, and you're going to change the Z to an X axis, and you're going to choose 2 horizontal, so I'm going to choose those 2, and connect to selected. Once connected to selected, you're going to add one last one, you're going to change it to origin, and you're going to choose one that you feel is in the middle. So I'm going to go with this one and connect to selected. Once connected, you're going to go ahead and update coordinate frame. I'm just going to double do it just to ensure that it did it, and close. Once closed, you could test your object, and you'll notice that if I go anywhere, the object doesn't move. The only thing that moves is the actual scenery, the cinematic. So that's how you know that you did it correctly. You could go ahead and X that out, and now what you want to do is go to export camera solve. So you export the camera solve, you're gonna change the file name and click browse. You're gonna change it into the first sequence folder, not the second one, the first sequence folder, and name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name it camera solve. And you're gonna change it to a Cinema 4D, and then click save. Now it says scale scene by, you're gonna change it from 1 to 100. You're gonna click save. Since I already have one, do I want to overwrite it? Yes, I do. Now that was a 5-second process. You could X out Bojou and open up Cinema 4D. Once you have Cinema 4D opened up, go to File, Open, or Control O for you guys who like shortcuts, and go to your sequence folder and just double click on camera solve. Make sure scale is on 10 centimeters, textures checked, lights checked, and click OK. Now you should see a bunch of dots, which are the blue and yellow dots from Bojou. Once you have that, I want you to create a background, and I want you to create a new material, add a texture to it, and the texture is going to be your original, your raw cinematic file. So if you use mine, it might be in your downloads folder, and just double click that, not the one that you rendered in After Effects, the raw one. It's going to ask you for a search path. You could click yes or no. I could care less. I clicked no. Give it about 10 seconds to load up the image, and then drag the material to the background layer. Now you have your cinematic in Cinema 4D. What you're going to do now is add a MoGraph text. I'm going to name it IB Loco. Or I'm going to do Loco because it's smaller. No, I'm going to do IB Loco. I'm sorry, I can't choose. And I'm just going to change the font to Bebas. And once at Bebas, I want you guys to go to drag this 75, drag the frame, open it out to 433. Go back to the middle of your clip, which is about 216, and go there, put your keyframe there, whatever you want to call it. We're going to work in the middle on Cinema 4D as well. And just simply put this on the floor wherever you can, that you know it fits all the way on the floor. So mine fits all the way on the floor pretty far back. So what I'm just gonna quickly do is just put the horizontal spacing in a bit so I can move it up so you could actually see the shadow. Once you have it situated again so it's at the middle of the floor. Okay, Now that it's there, what we're gonna do is add a new floor. So add your new floor, drag the same material to the floor layer. Now you should have a bunch of these. What you're gonna do is go to projection, frontal. Now there's a reason why I didn't tell you to do one tiny thing to your material before this, and this is just in case you like the first way better than the way I'm gonna show you. So once you have that, what you're gonna do is add a light. So you could just click that and it gives you your light. And since the shadows are coming from behind, coming in front of them, that means the sun's behind. What I recommend you do is put the light behind so it could, you know, take the place as the sun. And let's go ahead and render this. Now what I was talking about, the material, will pop up now. This light right here that you see, that's because we didn't fix the material the proper way. You may like that, but not a lot of people do. So before I even show you how to change the material, we're gonna go to shadow on the light layer and change the shadow to shadow maps and put the density on 50. And I just want to show you what it's gonna look like. So now you have your little shadow right here, but then you still got this stupid glare in the middle of your material. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to material if you did not like it and take specular off. Once you take specular off, render again, and I could guarantee it won't be there. Now that it's not there, what you're gonna do is just add one more light so that this isn't a black text and your text actually lights up. You're gonna add one more light and bring it over here to where it lights up. Pretty sure I do not have it in the right position. Yep, like I said. So just give me a second to bring this light into the right position. Okay. Now we could go ahead and render this. As you could see, there's shadows on my IB logo right there because I made sure the text was coming, and I made sure that it was acting as if the sun was coming in that direction. So you could play around with that. If you move it in, there's going to be less shadow on there. And all you got to do is, after you're done with that, is render your clip. So what I want you guys to do is take a look at what we just created. So comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next tutorial. So until next time, peace.